What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Top 5 Podcast, a show where every week we choose a topic and give it a top 5 ranking. I'm your host, Ron McNerney, and joining with me today are my best friends, Zach Blanner.
What's up, everyone?
Colin Harding.
I like hot sausage.
And Matt Bush.
I also like hot sausage.
We're going to do the intro later. Colin, when you say hot sausage, this just got me thinking because I had kibasi today. Are you a kibasi guy?
Hell yeah.
Matt, are you a kibasi guy?
Kibasi's fire, dude. It's fire. Now, did you have sauerkraut?
That's a good way to ruin the kibasi.
That's a good way
Bro.
for Zach to have a bad
Stop
opinion.
Stop capping.
Dude,
Kibasi. Fuego.
kibasi's great. When you add sauerkraut to anything, it instantly makes it a 0 out of anything.
I feel bad for you, Zach.
No,
When you
no
have to smell
caps.
it all
Hey,
day,
legitimately,
it's the best.
sauerkraut is freaking amazing.
No, it stinks. It tastes bad. Just bad times. Bad times.
Yeah.
Times forever.
I just eat sauerkraut.
Ooh. How's your breath smell?
I mean, I brush my
Probably
teeth.
horrible.
Well, that's a New Year's tradition for us. I think it's, honestly, I thought it was just our family that did it. Apparently, it's a lot of people that do it too.
like-
Pennsylvania
no.
Polish.
It's very Eastern European.
Yeah.
Well, Pennsylvania Dutch and the Polish, I should say.
But boys, let's be blunt. 2020 sucked. But not all of it sucked. Especially for us. And this episode is all about the parts of 2020 that weren't complete and utter dumpster fire garbage. So boys, are we ready?
For sure.
Oh, yes.
You
Matt,
know it.
you're starting today with your
I'm starting.
number
Oh, so
five
much pressure.
pick. Yeah.
So much pressure.
It's a lot of pressure for everyone.
So for my list, I wanted to make my list about what I followed the most in 2020, which was definitely music for me, since a lot of obviously you couldn't go out and do a whole lot of stuff, so your activities were limited. But you can always listen to some fire music, and a lot dropped this year. And my fifth favorite album was "Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon" by Pop Smoke.
Why?
I
I
wanna
thought you were
start
going
this
to talk
off
about
with
my album, Matt, but that's fine.
That's number one, Colin.
I mean,
Don't
your
spoil the
album
list.
transcended music. Like, it wouldn't even be fair.
Why number five?
But
Matt?
rest in peace, Pop Smoke. First of all, it was a little disappointing because I only got into his music. Like, I knew about him before because he was big, but he wasn't like huge. And then he got shot like a while ago, back in I think February, like right before shit hit the fan. And then what happened was he had put out a mixtape that I also really enjoyed. And then he passed. Since he's from New York, like 50 Cent basically got control of his album and like executive produced it, and then it dropped later in June of this year. And just a really awesome listen overall. It's like it has a lot of bangers on it. It's really fun. It's basically like the summer album for the summer where we had to stay inside, which sucks. But it's still just a really awesome listen. Like I was probably listening to nothing but Pop Smoke for a solid like 2 weeks,
When did he die?
just because it was. What's up?
When did he die?
I think back in February.
Oh, okay. Who's the rapper that just died? Yesterday on December
Darth
31st.
Darth Vader or something.
Matt,
It wasn't- he didn't die
tweeted
on-
for it.
On New Year's apparently. Apparently he died back in October, like on Halloween, but they just waited to announce it
Oh, really?
later.
Oh, wow.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I guess the family just wanted to grieve, which I mean makes sense.
That's fair.
Yeah.
His name was like an iconic dude, though. Like,
Oh yeah, he's super huge.
Motherfucker Doom or something.
Yeah, MF Doom.
Yeah. I assume it stood for motherfucker. I don't know.
Man, I'm gonna be honest.
But
I
if
never heard
y'all
of him
remember my
before.
favorite artist list, he was on my honorable mentions. I really, really love Doom.
Hmm.
He was crazy cool, and he will be missed. Yeah, Pop Smoke, just bangers all day. Definitely, he was on my like Spotify Wrapped this year as like one of my top 5 most listened to artists.
Shout out to Spotify.
The world's
Wraps.
gonna be a little sadder without him making bangers. So Pop Smoke is my number 5.
Lit.
Colin.
I have to say I've never listened to him.
I never. I mean,
I'm not
listened to Pop
surprised,
Smoke
Colin. He's like a New York drill style, so none of you would probably like it.
I'd be surprised
But
if
it's
Colin
really
knew who
good.
Childish Gambino was.
I mean, I know who Childish Gambino is.
I mean, everyone knows who Donald Glover
I mean,
is.
I knew him as a
He's a freaking
comedian
superstar.
and actor, I guess, before he was Childish Gambino.
Summer 2016 was pretty much the Childish Gambino time for us. Colin.
It's not like Donald Glover isn't a megastar, Ron. Like, people know who that is.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. But Colin, who's your number 5 and what's your list about?
Okay, so my list is just about things that happened this year, because not a whole hell of a lot happened because of my number 1. So my number 5 is we actually started the podcast this time.
Big round of
We've
applause.
started it a few times.
Like, we actually took off and we said we're doing this, and we did it,
Oh yeah,
and
this
we're
is-
still doing it.
So we shouldn't announce that this is our last one doing. New year, new us. Yeah, Colin, I was
New Year,
going
New Us.
I was going through my old computer. I was looking at some of the old podcasts we had on there because I had a folder just podcasts and then in parentheses just high school because of all the ones that crashed and burned.
Oh yeah.
We went through a lot of names for those podcasts.
Oh yes, we did.
We had like 6 different names. Majority of them were trash.
Oh yeah.
A lot of them, but
I
a whole
definitely
bunch
went
of different
through.
shows.
I went through recently as well and went through all of our game recordings from probably about senior year to freshman year of college,
Mhm.
and just got rid of a bunch of them because they were so stupid, and half of it was just pure silence anyways.
Yeah, I have my YouTube channel still up from back then. And I still use it just to watch everyone, but occasionally I'll go through some old videos of all of us just playing Call of Duty and GTA and everything. But yeah, I don't know. For everyone who doesn't know, in high school we tried this, I think, on 3 separate occasions. And the only one that kind of, I guess, is still going pretty much is Top 5, because that was Matt's idea
Yeah.
back in 11th grade, 12th grade.
Something like
They're
that.
also a lot busier back then, too.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
This year was the one of the
Least busy.
of our time of all of our years. So, oh yeah, Colin, that's a great pick. It's a wholesome pick, I would say.
I was happy that we finally stuck to it. That's what I was happy about.
Mhm. And if it all crashes and burns tomorrow, it's it's still an accomplishment for 2020.
Yeah.
We're in 2020.
I mean, we so far this is
Sure.
the best podcast that we've had, because we've done it for longer at this point.
more consistent too.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, definitely.
And a lot of people like it, which is
Yeah.
huge, to be honest.
But if you do like it, be sure to leave a rating, and subscribe and share our podcast. DM us on Instagram. Tell us how much you enjoy it. But Colin, that's your number 5. Anything else to say?
That is my number 5. No, I think that was good.
Boys, my number 5 is going to be the basic answer of Ron, because it wasn't hard to make this list because so little happened, and so little happened that was good. So it was easy to throw just 5 things on there. But my number 5 pick is graduating college. And pretty much just for my description on my list is essentially just, stuff that happened to me. Not so much like music or anything, even though it does have a little bit of part in it later. But yeah, I don't know, graduating college. I've been through, including preschool, that'd be 18 years of my life of education.
Too many.
Yeah, 18 years too many. I
little
learned
too
all
many.
of it senior year of college. And I still don't know what a 401k is, to be only from what I've read online.
Yeah, I mean, I think a Google can solve that anyways.
Oh, absolutely. But just it's kind of important. You can hear my dog barking, so apologies. But hold on. Okay, stop. No, you didn't. Whatever. I'm gonna keep her going. But yeah, no.
Everyone loves her, Ron.
What was that, Matt?
Everyone loves Gracie.
Well, this is Rocco. Megan's dog, a mini golden doodle for anyone aware who wants.
Why do you have Rocco?
Because Megan and Asher went to Asher's family's place yesterday, and they didn't want to leave Rocco by himself with all the fireworks. Because he gets too.
That makes sense. Marvin was freaked out yesterday.
Yeah, Jaco was too at Zach's. Gracie would bark whenever Rocco would bark. But yeah, I don't know. Graduating college, the 4 years of college I had were amazing. I still try to relive it every chance I get, even though it's just basically gone. It was ripped away from me, without warning. So, but what are you gonna do? But yeah, it's a big accomplishment, I think. I mean, it's kind of standard for for the most part, kind of that, you just kind of need the degree that's like ingrained in our society. But I went through and I did it. So, I mean, that's pretty much one of the best parts of 2020. It didn't end the way I wanted it to, but it was still a good ride. Zach.
It's definitely a big deal.
Oh yeah. No, it is. It's a good now I can have like a what is it, like a $50,000 piece of paper. I could frame it.
Yeah.
If I spend about $1,000 on a really good frame. And I already threw that much money into the piece of paper, so
I would just go to Dollar General. That's probably
I'm gonna be honest, I don't even think I'll ever frame it. But it's just gonna be that.
Just roll it up and stuff it in a drawer.
Zach, what is your number 5?
Yo. My number 5 is the PlayStation 5.
It's the PlayStation.
Yeah, so I kind of did the same thing Ron did. My list consists of things that were memorable for me, good moments of the year, things like that. PlayStation 5 coming out, I have on here, mainly because for that weekend that it came out, that was the longest time, or that was the first time in a really long time that it kind of felt like a holiday. It felt like this new thing. Definitely one of the most, one of the most anticipated things that is for me that happened in the year. But also just, it was a really good day when it came out. A good day and a good couple days after of just exploring the PlayStation 5, playing with it, playing with you guys. And yeah, just having that new thing. So.
And we can finally get rid or stop using the jet engine of a PS4 whenever you play Warzone. We don't have to use that as call out signals anymore because it's so freaking loud. Matt, what's your number 4?
Number 4 was Run the Jewels 4. I know some of you guys are familiar with Run the Jewels. Basically, they're a duo composed of Killer Mike and LP. They've been releasing music together for, I guess, the past 6 or 7 years at this point. Even before the Run the Jewels, they had a Killer Mike solo album, which was entirely produced by LP, which is, I guess, pseudo the first Run the Jewels. But I've always been a fan of them because they sort of LP is an incredible producer. So every time that they drop, it doesn't sound like anything else that's coming out. So you're getting something very unique and very, I guess, violent. LP has a way of creating these monstrous instrumentals that are just insane to listen to, if you're working out and something or stuff. And also, they're not really afraid to get into politics in their music, and I think that they do an amazing job. I know specifically on the track Walking in the Snow, Killer Mike definitely dropped my favorite verse of the year. It was recorded before the whole George Floyd thing, but it came out in the summer, so the verse really hit close to home because that's when all of the shit was going down with that whole situation. So it was just kind of insane how that whole thing worked out. The features on the album are amazing. 2 Chainz delivers a fire verse. If y'all hate 2 Chainz, get out of here. He delivers on his performance. The track with Zach De La Rocha and Pharrell is insane. This isn't the first time they've worked with Zach, and whenever they collab, it's all fireworks. Am I missing anything else? I don't think so. I love Run the Jewels. I've been a huge fan for a while. and I think that they just get better with every release. I would say pretty confidently that Run the Jewels 4 is the best one. So if you want to get in to the Run the Jewels canon, start with Run the Jewels 4. It's insane, and just work backwards. Yeah, the Run the Jewels cinematic universe.
RTJMCU.
Yeah, couldn't recommend it enough, and it makes my number 4 because of that.
Matt, you'll be happy to know I actually listened to a bit of the album when it dropped.
Dude, it's fire.
I saw you like retweeting stuff. Like, what was like back in June, right?
Yeah, it dropped in the summer.
Yeah.
I think June, like early June.
I think not the only song, but I think the song I liked the most was the 2 Chainz song. Was like Out of Sight.
Oh, yeah, the 2 Chainz one is a banger.
Yeah,
that beat is
I thought
insane.
it was a really good song. I kind of want to go back and re-listen to it though, after you talking about it.
I think you would like it a lot. I think Run the Jewels fits more of your guys' style, like as a group.
What was the one song that I know me and Zach really like? Because we were watching the Game Awards and they just premiered it, or not premiered it, but they just
it was the DJ Shadow joint.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it's called though.
I don't know, but I remember we just heard it because we did not expect it to actually be played during the Game Awards, and just we started busting out laughing.
Dude, they get mad endorsements though. It's called Nobody Speak.
That's it. Yeah, that's a really good song.
Like they get mad endorsements. Like they were on like the FIFA soundtrack. Some of their like instrumentals are on like car commercials. Like they're getting bread for endorsement deals. They have.
Matt, you would be unsurprised to know that I never listened to it.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
That's good.
They have their own IPA that I haven't been able to find yet. And probably isn't available in the States.
Zach's about to just jump through the microphone real quick.
Yeah.
It's called Run the Brews.
That's awesome.
Run the Brews.
Can you get it online, or is it only like at breweries? Like
I think it's just in select breweries.
That's a shame.
I haven't looked up to see if you can actually get it in our area, so I really just don't know.
If we can get food from Mr. Beast's restaurant that he opened all across the country, I would hope we'd be able to get this beer.
I would imagine so.
Probably find it on like Amazon or something, like just, private sellers.
Did you watch the report of the day? Do the Mr. Beast review?
No, I did not.
It was the collab of the century.
Really?
He said it was just good.
It's expensive. I mean, if you're ordering for one person, it's expensive because all like the delivery fees and stuff. Like you're like $16 on a burger. And
I mean, yeah. Well, DoorDash charges you like $50 to deliver a sandwich to your place.
Yeah. Get that Dash Pass though. # sponsor us, DoorDash.
Just got to use it enough.
Yeah. Colin, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is the fact that we somewhat beat the bots this year and we secured a bunch of PS5s.
Hey.
Who could forget the war of 2020?
Yeah.
That was the
war between the war between bots and humans. We finally had it and we lost.
We didn't. We didn't lose. Really, we figured it out.
Well, I mean, the fact that 12 people in the UK got over 3,000 consoles, that's...
Oh, no.
I would say that we probably lost.
Yeah. Well, us specifically, you know...
Oh, no, we won our battle. We won our battle, but we lost the war.
Like, I mean, it's grateful Matt didn't want one, because he would be the only one not getting one if he wanted one.
Yeah.
Well, no, Aaron wouldn't get one.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, Aaron wouldn't have gotten one.
Would not have had one. Yeah, because that one was secured for you.
Yeah, we would be down one. But if Aaron didn't have one, then we probably would have tried a little harder.
But we did get one for everybody in the group, which is awesome.
Everyone who wanted one. That honestly, it was just more of the first night of it, or first or second night of it happening. We were snagging them the day of.
Yeah, because after like everybody was ready for it, like nah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Happening.
Like those bots were stealing all of them.
Mm-hmm. It was a rough time.
Yeah. But I don't know. I was pretty happy because I was like, I can't believe that we got, I don't know what we got, like 6 or 7 at this point, and we were capable of giving it to people who deserved it, not people who were going to upsell it for an extra $200.
What were you trying to say?
I know y'all aren't used to it, but trying to get shoes in the past is a literal nightmare. So I completely understand trying to.
The shoe game is way worse than the console game.
Yeah.
I don't even know about that. It depends on what platform you use. Nike actually isn't that bad from my experience. But if you're trying to get Adidas, like, you're better off just playing the lottery. To be honest, like, the same thing.
This is a dumb question. Actually, I don't know if it's a dumb question, but where would you go to like buy Yeezys when those would drop? Like, did Kanye have his own site, or
they have
through like a?
Yeah, they have their own site.
Okay.
Well, like, basically what happens is you get into the site and you're placed in a queue to get into the actual part of the site where you actually buy the shoe. And then at that point, it's up in the air whether they even have your size or not. So you're waiting in line to hope that they have the size that you need.
And then if they don't, you buy a different size and sell it for an extra $300.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think would be the harder part compared to consoles, is because it has
that's
to be
iffy too, because like if you're like a size 12, it's like way easier to get shoes because no one's a size 12.
Yeah, so but if you're like a size 8 through 11,
yeah, and you can get them for stupid cheap. Like I'm a 10, so it's like literally impossible to get them in my size.
That's where I'm at.
Like, if I'm late. But I haven't like actually tried to get drops in a while. Because I just mostly have
you did for a little
really
bit,
been paying attention to that. What's up?
Didn't you get some drops before? For shoes?
Before I did.
Yeah.
I sold a pair that I got a pair of CDG Converse, but I don't know how hyped those were.
I wouldn't know. I'm not part of the shoe community.
What were you trying to say before, Zach?
I don't even remember. I don't know.
Well, boys, Colin, that was your number 4. Anything else to say about the console war of this year between normal people?
I don't know. I think all the console I don't know what you want to call them, families, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, we all need to come together and defeat these bots.
Yeah, even Nintendo this year. Nintendo's for the entire year was just impossible.
I don't even want to talk about Nintendo. I would just get upset.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then not only that, but you got PC people who can't even buy a new graphics card because all the bots bought them from crypto mining. So we all need to band together and do something about these companies just like basically ignoring their actual audience and saying, well, other people are still buying it, so why do we care?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's mostly like Sony at that point because they put them up for sale on these third-party sites that aren't handled that kind of volume. You know what I mean? Like,
it's
you put something on you put a hype product like a PS5 on Walmart.com. Like they're not prepared for the level of traffic that's going to happen.
Yeah,
and I don't even know if you can really
Sony. That more so falls on Walmart.
No, but it also falls on Sony for not giving them proper release dates and saying be ready for it.
Hey, this is the most hype tech drop of the year. We should be prepared for like people who want to go in and buy this. Like realistically, it's 2020. This PS5 should not be impossible to get.
Well, right, but they're not gonna cut ties and like piss off like their people who sell their console.
But they could try.
I mean, not really.
Well, all they have to do is go to their people and say, hey guys, like this is a hot drop. Maybe you should have your website ready.
I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's still
the fact that they weren't prepared at all is just insane.
I mean, yes, it is Walmart, but if Walmart doesn't know when it's going to drop because it randomly drops, and then Walmart's just throwing it up because somebody randomly bought one from GameStop, like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people got fined. I can tell you that. I guarantee you Walmart got fined. Like they had to have.
I think at the end of the day, they just care about the sale. And that's it.
Yeah.
Because it's just a little bit of money.
Yeah, and I think that's what sucks is like because you look at like the new NVIDIA graphics cards. Like I think maybe 5 consumers actually got it. I mean, it's more of a hyperbole there, but that's what it feels like to everybody. Is that 5 people who actually wanted them got them, and everybody else is just crypto miners.
Yeah, graphics cards are just a whole other ball game with that. They're so hard to get to NVIDIA cards. Everyone just buy AMD and just leave NVIDIA alone.
Well, that's the problem. Is AMD did the same thing, and then they couldn't get them either. It's just, I don't know. I think crypto mining definitely destroyed half of the PC market because now everything's like super expensive because of that. And because of NAND storage, but it just sucks whenever like you want to try and go and buy a secondhand like graphics card, but it's being sold for full price because most people buying secondhand are people who are crypto miners. So I don't know.
I mean,
I think
it's definitely shitty for sure.
yeah, it's definitely just shitty for people who are playing games.
Boys, to move on, my number 4 pick is basically just going to go off my number 5. As I said, it's a very small list because not a whole lot happened this year. But my number 4 is getting a full-time job. Wait for it.
During COVID.
Wait for it. During COVID. Still wait for it. For something that is actually involving my major.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a good pick on you.
That's the biggest dub, is that I actually get to use my degree, which does not happen a lot, and it's kind of shocking, but also not really shocking at the same time. But yeah, I don't know. I've been working there since August 10th specifically. So what, in 9 days from now, since the new year? Be what, 5 months? Which honestly does not feel like 5 months. Time flies whenever you don't.
No, it really doesn't.
Shut your blinds the entire day and work from home. But
basically,
yeah, I don't know. It was just a short and sweet thing. Getting a job, I think, was one of the highlight parts. Now that I have some income to basically only pay debt, but what are you gonna do? But yeah, that's my number 4. Zach, what's your number 4?
That's the way it works sometimes.
My number 4 is the last month I spent up at Kent. That last month I spent up there, I really started hanging out with a lot of my friends from school. So I got things were kind of lightening up as far as things were opening back up. People were being a little more social. So I got to see them a lot more. I got to go out and kind of do things and have a little bit more of kind of an end college experience, not fully, but as much as I guess I could. And the relationships I made, I made a lot of really new relationships with people in that last month that I didn't have before. It was just a really good month, between I was always doing something, between hanging out with a bunch of people, hanging out with my friends and seeing them and getting to spend that time with them before I left was really nice to have. And arguably that last month was probably contends for probably best moments of school, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, that was just a really good break or eye of the storm of the COVID thing. So
yeah, Zach, I'm jealous you at least got to have a bit of some college closure. Pretty much you at least were able to stay up. I was just not gonna be able to afford it because I didn't get any stimulus money or anything at the time, because I didn't get anything until late May of actually any funds from the CARES Act. So yeah, I don't know. My college break got a little extended, or my college break. My spring break did, because it was the week-long break. I was working at Texas Roadhouse still, and then when everything hit hard, we got an extra 2 weeks off from our in-person classes because those are being transitioned online. But if I had 2 online classes at the time, which would continue because they were already online, there was no adjustment needed. So that's kind of what happened with that. But yeah, I don't know. It's nice you're able to at least finish it up and just get to see everyone before you left.
Yeah.
Matt, what's your number 3?
My number 3 for my third favorite release this year was the Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist album, Alfredo. So, in case you guys don't know, Freddie Gibbs is a rapper based out of Gary, Indiana. And Alchemist is basically a superstar producer. He's definitely my favorite producer of all time. He makes these really dusty, sample-rich beats that are just insane to sit back and relax to. And
kind of lo-fi hip-hop beats to relax/study to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, kind of. It's very similar, I think, in that regard. And it's just made for a really awesome listen overall. Like, I really love Freddie style. He has a very prominent voice when he hops on a track. Like, you know it's him, and you kind of know what you're getting yourself into.
Oh, I always know what I'm getting myself into.
I hope so.
Matt, I swear, I think you have a never-ending list of artists that I feel you could always recommend to me, because there's a lot that you talk about that I've never heard of.
I try to.
I'll listen to Run the Jewels, though. That's for sure.
I love
Well, Ron, if you ever want some jazz, blues, rock, or metal, like, I got you.
We all have. I mean, we did the top 5 music artists. If you have not listened to that, you should. It was our 3rd podcast, so you might have to scroll down a little bit for that. But yeah, I think we had a preface before that we all just have very different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt, do you have a favorite song on the album?
I honestly think it would be too hard to pick, like, one favorite. Like, the features on it are crazy too. Rick Ross is on it. Tyler, the Creator's on it, and he's like rapping his ass off.
Hey, I know that one.
Pretty refreshing. Tyler's like definitely stepped up his game in the past couple years, and a lot of the Griselda boys are on there too. Benny, the Butcher, and Conway. I'll be talking about them later, basically, but I don't expect a lot of you guys to know who they are.
Sneak peek into the future, everybody. If you ever wanted to be a fortune teller, you got it.
But yeah, Alfredo is my number 3 for sure.
Colin. I don't know why my voice cracked like that. Colin, what's your number 3?
Ron. My number 3 is I got a Titan Lab, or a Secret Labs Titan chair. Since not a whole lot happened to me, I was able to expand my setup and get a good chair. My old chair ended up withering away after, I think we've had it for almost 18 years-ish, somewhere around there. It was my dad's old executive chair. And eventually just turned into mine once he sold his business. So yeah, I used that until it fell apart, and then I got this one. And I honestly, like, they say you need a break-in period, and everybody says these chairs are super comfy, and they are, but you need to break it in. It is very uncomfortable for long periods during the first week, but after the first week, and you break it in and you make sure everything is, morphed to your butt, I guess, it gets a lot better. And now I can sit on this thing all day without having any fatigue at all. And it is one of my favorite things in my setup right now.
Yeah, I think I have had the same office chair that I'm still sitting on right now for probably I think since early high school. Maybe longer at this point. I don't even know. I probably would have needed a new chair, but Zach got me this Walmart pillow that he surprised me
Walmart
when I came
pillow
from work. Oh. And that's just what I've been using to make it so I'm not sitting on just wood at this point of the chair. It definitely added some comfort to it. So shout out to Zach, who's sitting about a mile down the road of me.
Barely.
Yeah, honestly, not even.
It's not
300 yards.
Yeah, no.
It's probably half a mile at most.
If I jump down all the hills, I'll be there even faster. So, cut through a lot of yards. Well, boys, my number 3 is one that I'm gonna be honest, I kind of snagged from Zach, but for different reasons too, because him and I talked about this earlier. Was being able to spend more time with my friends and family. Granted, we already spent, us all, spent a lot of time talking, on PlayStation throughout high school and stuff. But, as college got a bit busier, in some instances, especially Colin, we haven't heard from Colin in, months.
Oh, my God.
Before we even started the podcast and stuff. But during, all this, we just had a bit more time to, just hang out on PlayStation. Because that was always with my college friends at time, in person. And, we can't really... I can't really just, be in another state to see Zach.
Yes, you could.
At a moment's when. All right, well, if you're just going to say it like that, now I'm just going to feel like a jerk, okay? So,
you could take out a few, hours of your day to go see Zach.
I'll take out a few hours to drive like 2.5 to see him and then just come right back up. But yeah, no, it's been a good time to at least just like, just hang out, play games a lot like we did. We were in high school. I remember like in May, I was talking to my mom and was basically just saying that this summer is going to be exactly like high school summer where I had nothing to do. Like before I started working in August, it just kind of felt like another summer vacation in high school when you don't have a car. Like you can't go anywhere. And didn't have like any sports or anything to play. I never did.
You were getting that unemployment check though.
Absolutely. It was nice. But with my in the side of my family and everything, I have gotten all of them addicted to Animal Crossing. I'm happy I did, but I also regret it. Because I started playing it. I bought my sister a Switch. She started playing Animal Crossing. My mom was bored and didn't want to watch any more movies, so I let her play on my island. She's addicted. Then my sister and brother-in-law just got a Switch, and they got the games. Now they're all together. Like, it's to the point where we just got a Nintendo family account just to play online, just so that we're not all spending $20 a person to do it. And it's 8 people. That is a rip-off. But it makes sense because Nintendo's servers suck. But
yeah,
$35 a year.
Plus, like Nintendo really tries to get their family like stuff going, so like you can't.
They're a very family company.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just been Animal Crossing addictions and where we drop it on Warzone. That's pretty much been a lot of this pandemic. To kind of get back in the swing of having no life and just playing video games all the time. But yeah, that's my number 3. Zach, what's your number 3?
So my number 3 are all of the good things that happened in quarantine that like wouldn't have happened if we weren't quarantining. So me and Aaron was my roommate while I was at Kent. We got really close. Like we were already close, like we were friends before, but we got even closer once quarantine was a thing, just because we were both in the apartment at all times. So we started hanging out a lot more. We talked a lot more. Aaron started playing video games with all of us. That kind of brought him in, and now he's like, of course I consider him just as good as a friend as any of you guys. And I'm sure you guys feel the same way about him.
He hasn't.
I don't know if I like anime Ohioans.
But yeah, like that. I started talking to my little cousin Will a lot. Through PlayStation and through the quarantine, because there really wasn't anything to do or go and do anything. Like hypothetically, if quarantine wasn't a thing, I'm sure we all would have been going out and going to the bars or like doing things like that.
At least see a movie.
yeah, at least going out and doing stuff rather than staying home and playing PlayStation. So Will, the relationship I have with Will now is like really awesome. I know like he's played with all of us and everything. Aaron, we got a lot closer to Greg as well.
Greggy.
And like just just like the dumb moments of like us playing, like the funny memories and all the things we've clipped in Warzone and like all those things. I mean, sure, a lot of nights were just us like sitting there doing nothing on PlayStation, but there were a lot of really good memories still packed into those quarantine moments. So yeah, just that.
I mean,
number 3.
Even
Greg doesn't love me, but that's okay.
Even
see, I can say it because he can't refute it now.
Oh my God. I'll have him listen to this one, and I just won't tell him why. But like, you live with Aaron, I live with Greg. Zach, so like even the nights where you just don't even do much of anything, those are always still like nice, memorable nights. Yeah. So it's the same but different, just because now we can't like actually like hang out and stuff. But very wholesome pick. Very wholesome pick. Matt, what's your number 2?
Yo, my number 2. So I guess my second favorite album that released this year is West Side Gun with Pray for Paris.
Oh, I love him.
I know y'all don't know who West Side Gun is. This is a dude that I discovered this year. He's a part of this group called like Griselda, which is a group of people based out of Buffalo, New York.
Do they play Zelda Grizzly?
No, they rap about selling cocaine.
Sounds similar.
That's like their whole shtick. And this was my favorite release. Yeah, like
okay.
Sugar. This is my favorite release from them this year, by a pretty big margin, I think. Mostly because the production is pretty insane. He gets a lot of really like amazing producers on there. The Alchemist is on there, which I just talked about, who I love. DJ Premier has a beat, which if you don't know who DJ Premier is, I'm sorry. You gotta
I don't know who he is.
You gotta know who DJ Premier is.
Nope, don't know.
That's your homework. That's your homework. You gotta figure that one out.
I don't like homework. Not a homework fan.
Well, tough. The features are crazy on there. He gets a lot of different people who you wouldn't think mesh well with him, but they sort of do. Kind of weird like that. Like especially with Westside, like I really like his voice. His voice is like super like high pitched and raspy, but it just kind of works for what he's doing. I know if you told me that like you hated him, like you thought he was trash because his voice, I would understand why, just because it's a little weird and off the beaten path. But I really dig it, and it definitely had some of my favorite tracks of the year. The George Bondo joint with Benny and Conway was just insane. I think that is my most listened to song of the year for sure. And the joint with Joey and Tyler was insane too. Overall, just a fantastic album release. Definitely my favorite hip hop release this year, but not my favorite overall, obviously. But we're getting to that one later.
I don't know, Matt. It sounds like it's your favorite overall.
No, I liked one a little more. Pray for Paris is my number 2.
Colin, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is that I celebrated my 1-year anniversary with Alex.
Hey.
At number 2?
Yeah. So the reason it's number 2 is because number 1 kind of destroyed my entire year.
You're about to say so it's your number 1, my guy.
No. But yeah, no, it was really awesome to like, celebrate 1 year of being with her officially, like we talked for like a few months and then finally like happened. And then it was kind of one of those things where like I kind of went, wow, it's already like, I don't know, like it's already happening. Like it doesn't feel like it's been that long.
No, I get that.
It's definitely very special.
Yeah. I think like a year ago, I mean, what we're like 2 months away from the pandemic having a 1-year anniversary. Like,
yeah,
this year just flew by.
I mean, technically it already has its 1-year anniversary, but that's before it hit the U.S.
I guess you are correct on that. I should say lockdown. Lockdown.
Yeah, lockdown will be around my birthday.
Yeah. It was a little into March. I think like March, like it was right after my sister's birthdays.
Well, I remember they announced it around my birthday.
Yeah, because that's whenever my club at school, my TV club, shout out to WSRU TV News, we had like our meeting to discuss if we were going to go to California for our awards.
Yeah, I remember that.
Decided not to. And it was right before, because that's what our spring break trip was supposed to be. So, whatever. I've been school and I don't know. I've been I guess technically screwed out of 2 vacations in a year, but what are you gonna do? Shout out to Ireland. I'll never forget it. But yeah. Oh, Colin, what did you do for your anniversary?
She listens to TikTok and stuff. And she saw somebody on TikTok. They did like an anniversary thing where they went into Walmart and they bought a bunch of like stuff that like everything was themed. So we bought 5 items. Plus like we also had like a few extra things that we bought previous to seeing this, but one was like what reminds you of them, what what do you think they need? Like, what's one thing that you think that they would need? What's one thing that they want? What's their favorite snack? And what's their favorite drink? And then we had a few other things that like we just had previously bought and stuff. And that was a cool way to do it because like, we ran into Walmart and we only had like so much time to go do it. And it was kind of like a scavenger hunt in a way.
That's pretty cool.
What'd you get?
What did I get, or what did I get her?
Both, I guess.
So she got me, separate to everything. She got me Spider-Man, for the PS5.
A great
and
snap Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Was it the Ultimate Edition or just the Miles
It was.
Morales? Okay, cool.
So she got me that, and that was like a separate thing. That was something that she already bought because I was like, listen, I'm getting the PS5, and if I don't want to say that you have to get it for me, but I'm just letting you know that after our anniversary, I will be buying it just in case you are buying it for me.
Just kind of cover all the tracks just in case.
Yeah, because like it came out like 2 days before our anniversary, so I was like, I want it now, but because you love me, I'm gonna be nice and I'll wait if you got it for me. And then she got me she tried to get me, so my new favorite thing, because I've been trying to get away from pop, and I still like carbonated stuff, and one thing that like truly doesn't taste any different is Diet Dr. Pepper with cream soda. If you have Diet Dr. Pepper with cream soda, and you can find it out in this world because the pandemic basically made it so that way all of the brands only do their main stuff. Diet Dr. Pepper cream soda, genuine, like the cream soda taste covers up the diet taste so perfectly that you think you're drinking regular Dr. Pepper cream soda.
You're trying to get away from pop by drinking pop?
I'm drinking diet pop because like I don't want to like consume all the calories of it, but like I still have that like need for something that's like fizzy and carbonated. And I'm not a big fan of like sparkling water and stuff.
I was gonna say, have you heard of La Croix?
No, I can't stand that.
Because I can introduce you.
I'm not a big fan of any kind of sparkling waters.
I think actually has good taste, so he wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
Usually if I have like an urge to get something carbonated, I just drink ginger ale. And then
Yeah, and that's something that I also like after I started drinking like Diet Dr. Pepper, I started like experimenting with some other ones. And like Diet Ginger Ale, it's not as sweet, but honestly, like in a way, it's like its own little drink. Like it almost doesn't need to be called ginger ale. It could be called something else and it's still just as good.
Yeah, I really don't taste the difference between the Diet Ginger Ale and the ginger ale. I mean, whenever I've had the diet, I wasn't like this is diet. Like there's like a slight difference, but it's nothing like if I were to drink it forever, it wouldn't matter to me.
It's and then
Diet Coke.
Oh yeah, Diet Coke and Coke, completely different. And then she bought me Kit Kats is my favorite snack. That was a rough one because I have a million favorite snacks. So she did a pretty good job because I always talk about Kit Kats being like the Halloween candy that I would always like search for in my Halloween candy bag. She got me a Spider-Man what do you call it? Like what are like it's not a bust. No, like she got me like a statue.
Oh, okay.
Like one of those like 14th scale statues that are like, the size of probably like a PS4, Like they're like 14 inches tall. It was pretty cool. But yeah, like she did a pretty good job. I got her a bunch of, she's really into like the Trolls right now. She likes like the movies and stuff. So I bought her some troll stuff. I made her some Trolls pillows because my grandmother found fabric at like Joann Fabrics or something that was Trolls themed. And I got her because I always say that she like eats sugar like crazy because it's literally only her diet. So I saw in the cereal aisle they had marshmallow troll cereal. Like it was like if you took like Lucky Charms but turned it into like troll themed cereal. So I bought her that, and the reason that was a thing was I didn't realize that you can go into like Giant Eagle or Walmart and just buy an entire container of those dried out marshmallows from like Lucky Charms.
I would have never have known that either, to be honest.
Oh yeah, you could do that.
Is it on brand or is it?
You know what? Probably not, but it looks like the exact same ones.
Got it.
And like we were sitting there, and I was like, "Why do you want?" We were in Giant Eagle like about like a few months ago, and she pulled off these things off like that candy area by the deli, and I was like, "Why do you want that? Like that's so gross. Like why do you want old people hard candy? You know?" And then she explained to me that it was marshmallows. Like as we were leaving Giant Eagle, and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me! You can just go and buy these things." So that kind of made me think about it. So I bought those.
You know, Colin, is that with milk or without milk? These marshmallows.
They are definitely without milk.
Should all listen to our top 5 cereals podcast if you wanna.
Oh, you mean that? Yeah, no. Yeah. These you can totally have without milk and be super satisfied.
Gotcha. Cool. Anything else to throw in? I know I kind of talked over you.
No, that was just I don't know. It was a fun moment to like kind of be like, hey, we've been together for a year already.
I can't imagine committing to something for a year, let alone a relationship. Yeah. It's crazy. Boys, my number 2 is something that happened back in February, right before the pandemic, and it is going to Stage AE to see my number 1 DJ, Excision, for his Evolution tour. By far the best decision that I made. I know Zach had convinced me a little bit because I had zero money to even afford this. And shout out to Ticketmaster for making the ticket $80 or $85 after all your damn fees. But going to it and just saying, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna pull the trigger on it, was the best decision ever, because there's been a lot of nights where I would just lay in bed and get ready to just fall asleep, and I'd be like, you know what, nah, I'm trying to like reminisce on some stuff. So then I just go on the videos on my phone, just watch like the intros and like videos I took throughout the concert. The lineup for it was phenomenal, which I'll always like appreciate it too, because it crossed off a whole lot of DJs that I've wanted to see before off my list. But yeah, I don't know. Concert was amazing. I think about it. I think it once a day, if not once every other day. Because I just think about how much I miss concerts. Just so much fun. All the chaotic energy that's around you. It's definitely the environment you want to be in whenever you've been trapped in your house for so long and just want to, pump out all of your energy that you've just been bottling up pretty much. But yeah. Shout out to Excision for coming to Pittsburgh in February and not April or whenever. So, thanks, X. But yeah, that's my number 2.
Nice.
What is yours?
Well, before I tell you that, I just want to say I told you so. You knew that'd be a moment you'd really look back on. So, you're welcome.
Yeah, you knew COVID. You knew COVID was absolutely about to just decimate this country.
No, for sure not. But I knew you'd really enjoy going, and I knew you'd appreciate it. That's why I was so adamant about trying to get you to go.
Appreciate it.
But on brand, number 2 for me is I actually started DJing with a company. Going over there and like learning from them and getting to like, go to different like events and, see what it's like to be and to actually not just, mess around with stuff on my computer, at my desk, but like actually be behind a a booth and DJ. So that's my number 2. It's been a really fun experience for me.
Yeah, and you got to go to a couple weddings too. Actually, just perform.
Yeah.
While you're.
Yep.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. They're nice people. I mean, I went before we a couple COVID things happened, and it kind of just stopped me from going. But
Yeah, they're all great. They're all just
Really
kind of
good
about having fun. Super nice people. Really helpful as far as like learning and teaching. You know.
No, for sure. Matt, you were about to tell us your number one pick for the best thing that happened to you this year. What is it?
That's so much pressure.
I know. You can. I can drive to your house real quick and help you if you want.
Could you please?
Yes, I'm on my way. Matt, I got in a car crash, so you're gonna have to. I'm gonna walk back.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah,
You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. But I just want to hear your number one pick. That's just what's gonna help me through this whole disaster.
My number one pick, also known as my favorite album that released this year, was After Hours by The Weeknd. For sure.
Oh, that's mine too, Matt.
R.I.P.
Is
The
it really?
Weeknd.
No, I don't even know what it is.
R.I.P.
You don't know
The
I know you know who The Weeknd is. Stop playing with me.
Probably not.
Colin, you have to know who The Weeknd is.
I don't know him by
Colin, you do
name.
know who
If you
The
showed,
Weeknd is.
if you
Yes,
like
you
showed me a
do.
song or something.
Oh, come on.
Matt,
don't believe you.
R.I.P. The Weeknd. He's not dead. Just got snubbed at the Grammys.
Oh man. Put that on my least favorite things that happened this year for sure.
But what all? What's your favorite part about the album? Like favorite song, features, vocals?
Well, there aren't any features on the whole thing. It's just him by himself, which is pretty insane. But I've been a fan of The Weeknd for a while, like passively. I wouldn't say I'm like a stan, but if he drops, I'll listen. And I think he's a really great voice. He's one of my favorites in the R&B field, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I was pretty excited for this, and like the first time I listened to it, it was kind of passively, so I wasn't like super invested in it. But then when I went back and later re-listened to it, I was like, God damn, this is a masterpiece. And it's pretty much all I listened to for a straight month and a half. It was just After Hours on the loop. Because there's so many just fantastic songs on it. From everyone knows Blinding Lights, you know, Heartless, and like some of the deeper cuts are insane, like LA, the intro cut.
Yeah,
A lot of them are just
Weeknd is definitely a vibe.
like he's just singing his ass off, and the production is insane. It's like a throwback to like more of 80s style music, which I really liked. Like it was a very interesting change of pace, because I mean realistically nothing really sounds like that today. And it was just the most fun I had with the release this year, so that's why it's my number one.
It's definitely a good pick. Usually Weeknd is a vibe for me. Like if I'm just like feeling it, he's usually who I'll throw on. But I haven't actually listened to his album, even though like how much it popped off and how successful.
You're doing a disservice.
I am. That could be one of my dishonorable mentions of stuff that I did this year was not listening to the Weeknd new album. But I don't know. I'll give him a shot when I'm in a vibe. I like all of his old stuff. There's never been a song where I'm like The Weeknd, yuck. Everyone loves The Weeknd.
Gross.
Yeah, I'm more of a Monday kind of guy, you know. But yeah, do you have anything else to say about the album?
Not particularly, no.
I mean,
if you haven't
I
heard
think it's a good pick.
Hear it, please.
I think it's if that's actually was that confirmed? The reason he's not he didn't get nominated or didn't win a Grammy is because the Super Bowl or something.
It's speculation.
Okay,
I don't think we'll ever find out why, to be honest.
It's ridiculous. That's crazy though. Man did the whole album himself, and you know what, hundreds of millions of plays just on Spotify alone. You know,
Blinding Lights didn't even release this year. It released last year, and it's still in like the top 50.
Okay, got it.
Like that's like one of the biggest songs, like literally of all time, as far as charting goes.
Damn. Colin, what is your number one pick that apparently blows your 1-year relationship out of the water?
So something that completely ruined my year. I ended up getting, well, I shouldn't say that I ended up getting. I made it so much worse this year. About 2 years ago, I was working at GameStop, and I bent over, or well, I squatted down in order to put something on a shelf. And whenever I stood back up, I felt like this pop in my leg, and like my leg went numb for a few hours, and like I just like didn't know what the heck was going on. Um, Sucky part about it is I went to MedExpress, went to a few doctors, and they were like, I don't know, there's nothing wrong with your knee. And I was like, but it's not my knee where it hurts, it's like my inner thigh. And they're like, yeah, but that's usually like a knee thing. And then they were like, there's nothing wrong with your like butt muscles, there's nothing wrong with your leg. And I was like, okay. And they checked me for hernias, and they were like, there's nothing there. So they were just like, I don't know, you probably just pulled it, like don't worry about it, just like, take it easy. So 2 years go by, and literally like as soon as lockdown happened, basically, I squatted over to pet my dog, and whenever I went to go stand back up, the same thing happened, except so much worse. Now instead of going numb, it was an excruciating pain, and I couldn't even like move or walk. So that night, because it was like 8 o'clock at night whenever this happened, or something, maybe not even, it was probably like 10, because I think my mom was already asleep. And I was in the kitchen, so I literally just laid down on the floor and went to sleep there, because I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything. Like it was just in so much pain just to exist. And then the more I moved it was like it genuinely felt like somebody was trying to rip off my leg. So went to the doctors, and I discovered that I had a what was the word he used? I don't remember what the word he used, but it was basically I have an extremely large tear in my labrum in my hip, which for people who don't know, that means that I tore the cartilage open that is in the socket where your leg meets your hip. And now like my entire literally like March until probably the end of September, my leg was just in so much pain. I couldn't go on walks because like anything more than like a few minutes of walking like destroyed me. So like my summer was literally just doing school and sitting in my house because I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't do anything. I was so bored out of my mind. It really sucked. I still have to get surgery on it. I keep wanting to put it off because every time I hear like people got surgery on their hip or whatever, it basically like ruins them for life. So it's like a little terrifying for me right now. I don't want to like be out of doing physical activity for, the rest of my life whenever I'm only 22. I recently talked to my uncle, and he knows like quite a few doctors, I guess, and he wants to suggest them to me because Steven was my cousin Steven worked with he trained with the Steelers. So I guess he came to know a lot of like physical therapists and stuff very well. But I think I'm just gonna get the surgery. Like the more I look at it, like it's probably worth it since like the surgery changed the last few years. They only have to do like a little like I think it's like maybe 2 centimeters of a cut in my like right over where the like joint is, and then they like slightly dislocate my leg from my hip. Things that I read were like things like your leg goes completely numb for the rest of your life, but that was I think the old surgery from what I can tell, because they were like things that were posted a few years ago or whatever. And because we live where we live, we have some of the best medical things in the world, so I'm not really terrified of it, especially if I get somebody good anymore. But I was definitely worried about it because like I know quite a few people who had injuries to their hip and they were out for the rest of their life. Like they just wobble around now. And like your knee, especially if you get it done to your knee, like you're wobbling around for the rest of your life too. So it was nervous. It was nerve wracking. Getting the cortisone shot helped a lot. For those of you who have any kind of, I don't know. I know Tim down at the comic store. I talked to him about it because he recently had an issue with his hand. Cortisone shots can help out a lot. or no, his foot. I don't know why I said hand. His foot. Cortisone shot's gonna help out a lot. I was able to like actually walk up my stairs. Not fast, but I was able to. And then after a while, like I was able to like really get moving. So it helped out a lot. Definitely do it. But it really sucked because like my entire year so far has just been me not being able to do anything.
Colin, is this your best part of 2020?
No, this is the most notable part.
Got you. Okay.
Yes, this is not the best part. This is the most notable part.
I was just a little taken back for a hot second. I was like, oh, so he's better now.
Yeah, this is my most notable part, was that my year basically got destroyed by my leg being destroyed.
Whenever you started talking, I was like, did he sneak a surgery past us and just never tell us he had a surgery? And it was like,
no.
That was so...
Well, he told me, my doctor told me, he said, if you get this surgery, like you're not going to be able to walk for like 2 or 3 months. And my big thing was like, with the school that I go to, that's near impossible if they decide not to, because at the time we didn't know if like they were still going to have lockdown in the spring or whatever, or, like, you know, if things were still going to be online. So I was like, well, I can't really do that because where I go, like everything is a solid like 15-minute hike plus stairs and all kinds of other stuff. So like I couldn't really do that. So I got the cortisone shot because I was like, well, if it helps, it helps. But now that I know that it's going to be online, I'm thinking I'm just going to do it, and then I won't be able to like walk for a few months, and I won't be able to do like a lot of activity for a few months, but at least I'll be like better for the rest of time.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, I've had family getting knee surgeries in their late 60s and 80s. Like, you know, I mean, those are a pain. They could still walk. I mean, my pap had it. He's 90 now. But I mean, he's been...
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really worried about like not walking. I'm just worried about like not being able to like I like to go hiking and stuff and like camping and do that kind of stuff. So like,
yeah,
if I can't do that, like that's really gonna suck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I'm cool if I can walk like down the street or like to the refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
But I would definitely really like to be able to like actually like climb rocks and like, you know, jump around Ohio Pile like a moron again.
No, I get that. Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but I mean, I recommend the surgery. But, you know, I mean,
yeah, I was a little worried just because of somebody, or well, I shouldn't say somebody, like a few medical websites that I went on. You know how they always say, like, everybody says, oh, you're going to contract, you know, cancer if you just look up your symptoms. But like a lot of complaints with the surgery was like your entire like crotch goes numb. And I was like, well, that's not something I really want to happen, because they have to dislocate your leg.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, you know, that could last anywhere between a few hours and forever. Some people have reported they've had it their entire life so far since they got the surgery. And I was just like, I don't know if that's something I really want to have happen. And I talked to my doctor a little bit more about it, like as things happened, and looked more things up. And it doesn't seem like that's going to happen where we live, because we obviously have expert medical attention, considering I've been brought back from the dead.
Shout out to the Berg.
Yeah.
Boys, Colin, do you want to? I mean, yours is a big topic. Do you want to add anything else to it?
No, I think that was pretty good. I don't want to take up a bunch of time because, like, you know, we got to get through other stuff. But that's pretty much sums it up. That was probably the worst moment of 2020 for me, besides, you know, the obvious.
One of the most notable for you, or the most notable for you, yeah. Boys, my number one pick is it's similar to Zach's number two, but I made a DJ mix, which I would pretty much...
I remember that.
Yeah. Which I was just checking before, and it is at a solid 538 listens. Which I will happily take that for...
Ron has fans.
I know, I have fans, and I'm working on a second one. It's just more of... So basically the way that I always wanted to go about it was, I wanted the board, or the deck. I wanted the DJ deck, and I wanted to make it. I bought the deck to make a mix because I just listen to so much music, or EDM music specifically. And pretty much after that, it's just more of like a, you know, like I did it once, but I'll do it again if I want to. That's kind of just the way I'm like, you know, kind of looking at it and stuff. So it's like less pressure, and, you know, I mean, like, why force it in that sense, you know? But whenever everything got locked down in the beginning, I was just saying to myself, like, if I don't do it now, I'm never gonna do it because it's hard to do it before. And I mean, it's always excuses. I mean, at the end of the day, if you really want to do it, you're gonna do it. But like, at school, I'm in 3 different organizations. I have all my classes, 5 or 6 classes a semester. I need to have a social life. I have a job like at school, sometimes 2 jobs. So it's just a lot of time that kind of just builds up. So I figured this was just the best time, and I'm just gonna shoot for it, see what happens. And I made it. I really like it. Part of the reason I wanted to make it in the first place too was I listen to so many mixes on SoundCloud and sometimes YouTube. SoundCloud's better. All the time when I'm like cutting grass and stuff. So I always wanted to have like, a mix by Nern to listen to whenever I would just be, doing either leisure activities, cutting grass, going on a drive or whatever. So not all those listens are from me. They're actually from other people, surprisingly. But yeah, no, it's just a lot of fun. It's a nice like creative outlook, I guess. I kind of like it. Like I was able to pick it up and enjoy it more than like other instruments. I think it's just like guitar and stuff. I think it's just because this has like more of a techie side to it, and that's like just the stuff I enjoy a lot. So yeah, making the DJ mix is 100% one of the favorite things I've done, with very little hiccups throughout the mix too, which I mean people don't really hear, besides the artist. That's just how it typically is, because I'm an artist now. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Technically,
yeah. And if like I ever hear songs that I'm like, ooh, that would sound really good together, then I have the ability to do so, and now I have a good understanding of it. And that's kind of what got me into wanting to do DJ gigs like with Zach with their company, because after my sister's wedding we talked to them and they gave us their cards and stuff. I'm more into like the electronic side of everything, where for weddings you're not getting that too much, so that's kind of why I fell out of it a bit, but or I guess before I started really. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I recommend it. But pretty much what I'm trying to say is if you want to do something, quarantine was the best time to do it. And there's a lot of stuff I did do this quarantine that I'm proud of, and I think that ranks number 1 on my list. So shout out to my fans, all 500.
Your OnlyFans?
Well, yeah, they are my only fans. That is correct. I am accepting donations. I will make an account and just put music on there, but yeah. But yeah, making the DJ mix my number 1 pick. Go listen to it on SoundCloud. It's called Quarantine Mix by Nerny. So, N-E-R-N-Y.
Oh my God, Nerny.
I know. Nice,
that should be your tag.
It's like it's like my last name, but I'm not an MC, Matt. That's why there's no Mick.
True. MC Nerny.
Mm-hmm. That'll be my DJ name, high key. But yeah, Zach, what is your number 1 pick?
My number 1 pick is basically just this primarily. So this podcast that we've been doing on top of the podcast me and Ron have been doing for gaming. I started writing a lot more. I started focusing a lot more on things and like doing things that would give me a better chance of getting hired in the video game industry or getting a career doing what I wanted to do. For the majority of the quarantine, I was mainly just applying for jobs and kind of going with what I have. But I really started to focus on, building my, I guess, resume and like doing things and doing what I would be doing if I had a job just without a job, in order to, appeal more enticing to employers. And so far it's been a lot of fun and I've been really enjoying it. So yeah, that's my number 1, just like focusing on me and figuring out what I want to do and, doing that.
And shout out to Zach's review of Astro's Playroom 2. Go watch, read. Oh my God. Read it on his.
Don't worry, you'll get it right.
I know. I said whatever. I want to say watch it. Whatever. I mean, technically you would watch it if you read it, but on his Medium site, Zach can plug it. I don't know it by heart, but yeah.
It should just be my name on Medium.com.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out to Zach.
When is Stony Ponies dropping though? It's the most anticipated drop of this year, I guess.
Absolutely.
Since it is
2021,
January 1st.
We're kind of waiting for the new year, new drop,
Yeah.
We have a couple recorded though.
Sure.
We're ready to drop. We're just gonna drop it all at once. Then just we'll have it.
Yeah, it's mainly the logo that we were having the biggest struggle with, but that's all finished now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Can't post that logo, Matt. Psh, saying amateur hour. My gosh. But yeah, great pick, Zach.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I'm not wrong, yeah. But I'm gonna preface the honorable mentions part because that's the transition we're about to make. I have none because this year sucked. That's what I wrote for mine. I'm not sure if you guys had any honorable mentions or I guess dishonorable mentions for 2020. But that I just wanted to say I just don't have any. Matt, Colin, Zach, I'm not sure if you had any, but
I guess I mean obviously like starting the podcast and all that stuff, like hanging out with you guys. I just felt like I wasn't able to talk a whole lot about that.
Right.
In like list form. So I decided to do my list a little differently. And I picked up like a lot of new games to learn. I picked up Dragon Ball, which has been a lot of fun. It's definitely been a game I do have over a day played in it so far, and that's been a blast trying to learn and just pick up a new game over quarantine and stuff like that. So that's definitely another thing for me.
I didn't really have any honorable mentions myself. Since my year was extremely short because of my number one, I really didn't get to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Alex, Alex spent a lot of time with me since my leg was destroyed. And yeah, I don't know. I wish I could have done a lot more because we were getting into like going literally like I think we went walking like twice and then this happened. We would go out to like South Park and like do the trails and stuff, and then all of a sudden within like 2 days of me actually getting to do it, bam, that happens. So I guess I got to walk some of the trails at South Park, which was nice. You know what? Something that I said that I was going to do for a while. I just remember this. And Alex kind of pushed me towards it because she was also like, that's something that I've been wanting to do for a while. Was we bought some miniatures for like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, and we decided that we were going to paint them and see what we could do and like see what's up. So yeah, we started painting minis.
And you did create a Dungeons and Dragons game too.
Yeah, I'm working on our campaign. Yeah. Right now, I have a few things fleshed out for Matt because Matt had some requests. Alex will officially be joining us soon, whenever we have our next session. Yeah, no, it was a very slow year for me, I guess, because I didn't have a lot to do.
Zach, did you have any honorable mentions?
I mean, I guess like graduating.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. That's probably like the least memorable thing of college. Yeah. So
I can help you out.
Actually, honorable
mentions. Which I mean, I don't know. I guess you probably didn't think about it. I would imagine it'd be on your top 5, but Zach here won his very first Game Awards predictions.
Oh, he did.
Yes, he did.
And I came in second place instead of last place.
Yeah,
that's on Matt's number one worst thing to happen in 2020.
Yeah, for preface for everyone listening, every year the Grammys of video games, the Game Awards happen. We all make a prediction sheet as to who's gonna win. And just this is the short version, but we make the prediction sheet on who's gonna win. Whoever gets the most points at the end obviously wins. Matt has consistently won every single time that he has participated, because he didn't participate in 1 year. It was just me and Zach the one. But this was Zach's first right to claim.
Yeah, I was pretty excited this year because like this was the first year that I actually did it the way that everybody else was doing it. Because last year I didn't really have time, so I just kind of copy and pasted everybody. And then the two years before that, I wanted to see if I could win by picking the games that I wanted to win, not the games that I thought would win. Mm-hmm. So this year I was like, all right, now that Greg and Aaron are in there, and since I got Greg as competition,
there's a buffer.
like I gotta be able to like, you know, show them up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I made some bold claims to try and make it ahead just in case, because like there were certain things that won last year and like really didn't have any reason not to lose this year. So I made some quick bold claims that didn't end up working in my favor.
Yeah, some Hail Mary attempts, but you know, we'll get it next year.
Yeah, I just wanted to pull ahead by quite a bit if that worked. You know, I wanted to be able to be like, yeah, look at me.
I actually do want to interject. I have lied. I do have honorable mentions now that we've just been talking. I kind of feel weird for not like originally I was gonna put the podcast on my top 5 for everything. But for whatever reason, I just didn't feel I wanted to include it just because, you know, we were kind of doing it, you know, and all that. But I decided I am gonna put the podcast on the honorable mentions for me. Just because, you know, it's been at least a consistent way for all of us to even talk together, you know, and just have unique lists. It's definitely been a great way for us to kind of get in contact a little bit with some of our old high school friends who have listened to the show.
Yeah.
And kind of interact with them too. Shout out to Shane, Lindsay, everyone, Will.
Oh yeah, shout out to Shane for messaging me, buddy. Sorry, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shane, one of the biggest supporters and most spoken supporters I've seen so far.
But yeah, just look for our fans. Oh, and Brendan too. I know Brendan's talked to Zach, but yeah, it's been fun to at least, you know, just have a way of just, you know, just do something for fun. It was nice to work on the logo, figure out how RSS feeds work so you can even upload the podcasts. Even though it's uploaded onto Google Play or the Google Podcasts, I have no idea where the podcast is on that platform. I have no way of finding it, so whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's just been a lot of fun all around for that. And I guess I have another honorable mention because you talked about the Game Awards. This is how little I have done this year, but shout out to me for at least figuring out Excel to the point of creating that Game Awards list the way I did, because I don't know Excel that much.
Well, that's not even Excel. That's Google's even worse version of Excel.
Yeah, Google Sheets.
That version of spreadsheets is terrible compared to Excel.
Yeah. I mean, and Excel is even terrible as it is. I can't believe that like they say, oh, this is intuitive for people who don't know how to program.
Yeah, it's not intuitive. Like
it honestly would be easier to just say, hey, write some Java code than do the shit that they ask you to do on there.
Yeah, but that was difficult because like I don't know, there was a lot of time like to figure out, because I know in a previous year we had one of our other friends at the time did it for us. But his was different, and like
he did it completely wrong though.
Yeah, like I wanted to just make it so this is just something we can use forever and we don't have to share like new sheets all the time. But like I don't know, there's a lot of creative ideas that I had to make it easier for all of us. Like, you know, I mean, adding isn't hard, but when you're adding for 30 different categories with all the numbers, like sometimes you can lose track, so it auto counts or it auto highlights if it wins. Like it's just easier for us to see the winner. And obviously next year there'll be some changes to it to make it better, but I don't know. It was like a nice like accomplishment, figuring out like some coding to go with it, because I do code for work sometimes. So I kind of got to use those skills in it. So yeah, I don't know. It was a very fun way of just, you know, it was just fun to do. And now that it's good and ready, then we can always use it, which is nice.
It was totes fun, my guy.
Yeah.
Oh, and let's have a shout out to Tim the Tapman for somehow losing, and I'm so sorry, Tim. We all thought that was just gonna be like handed to you.
You got an ESPN documentary. I thought,
honestly, I can't even believe the other people even bothered to show up, but apparently, somebody else won.
I mean, I personally do enjoy Valkyrie's content, but I would have thought like Tim or Nick Merckx.
But versus Tim,
I thought it'd be Alana if it wasn't Tim.
Yeah,
for sure.
Be simping.
But yeah, I don't know. Anyone else have anything to say for the top 5 best parts of 2020 and also worst?
I don't know.
Well, boys.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that's the
goodbye.
End of this. What'd you say, Matt?
Goodbye and good riddance.
Yeah, goodbye and good riddance to 2020. We're now in 2021, where you know, this is where dreams happen. Okay, so this better be a good year. Hopefully this time next year, if we do another podcast of this, it'll be a better
what's the dating app that has the ad now that has like Satan 2020?
Oh my god, I love it. It's I love that.
I know what you're talking.
It's not Hinge, it's not Tinder or Bumble. Is it eHarmony?
No, it's not eHarmony. It's like
Match.com.
I don't. Yeah, Match.com.
Yeah. I love those ads.
Shout out to them for making a really bold prediction that somehow COVID would just go away as soon as it turned to 2020.
I love their ads though for Satan dating 2020.
Oh yeah, no, I like their Satan. It's like they took it from I don't know if you guys have ever watched The Greatest Song in the World with Jack Black and I can't think of his name at the moment, but it looks like that kind of like a theme with the costume for Satan, and I really like it.
I loved it. Those are such good ads. Every time I see it on Hulu, like those are the only ones I put my phone down to actually watch because they're just funny. There's been a lot of really good TV ads this year, as a side note, but yeah.
It's because nobody else has anything better to do, so they better entertain us.
Absolutely. But boys, that's the end of this episode of Top 5. Thank you all so much for listening to today's show, and let us know whose list you agree with the most. If you like what you heard, please be sure to leave a like, rating, and share our podcast. Happy New Year, everyone, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Happy New Year.
Bye.